All right, so as promised, we're going to take a look at the brand new Soundcore Space One Pro, and we're going to compare them to the original Space One. So if you're considering both and you're trying to make a decision, or if you have the original and you're trying to decide if you should upgrade, I'm gonna do my best to help you answer those questions here in this video. So the first thing to consider with any product is price. Depending on your budget, the original Space One come in at $100 and the Space One Pro come in at $200. Now, with that being said, if you guys are familiar with Soundcore, then you know they typically run sales pretty often, especially during the holiday season. So once November rolls around, it wouldn't surprise me if you're able to save about $30 on either one of these headphones. So if budget is tight, timing is something to keep in mind. Now with the Space One Pro, obviously they have the higher price tag. So as you can imagine, the build quality feels a bit more premium. Both headphones are primarily plastic, but the finishes and just overall hardware on the Pro, it feels more substantial to the touch. And then as far as just handling the headphones, you can definitely feel and hear the difference. Now, to be fair, the Space One are a year old at this point, and I've used mine quite a bit, so I'm sure the fact that they're actually broken in contributes to how they feel and sound. Now, aside from the build quality, another obvious difference is the new Flexi Curve design. It's a 3-joint system that connects the ear cup to the headband, allowing the Space One Pro to be insanely compact. The ear cups can swivel 180 degrees, which is noticeably more range compared to the original, and that's what allows them to collapse and fold as much as they do. As you can see, there's a pretty significant size difference compared to the original, which is a big deal as far as portability. Now, speaking of portability, my biggest gripe with the Space One Pro is the fact that they don't come with a case. They have this amazing collapsible design, but no case to go along with it. It honestly kind of feels like a missed opportunity to help justify the higher price point. Now, there is an exclusive travel case that you can buy for $35, and for a limited time, you can actually get it for free if you purchase the headphones from the Soundcore website. Now, moving over to the ear cups, as far as size, they're pretty similar. Both give you plenty of room. Even if you have really large ears, I think you'll be pretty safe with either one. But as far as the padding on the ear cups, it's definitely softer and plushier on the Space One Pro. And when you're wearing them, there is a slight difference as far as how they hug the ear. So that kind of just goes back to the nicer materials that you get with the Space One Pro. Now, aside from that, they don't feel drastically different as far as comfort. The Pro are slightly heavier at 286 grams compared to 262 grams. In the hand, you can notice a slight weight difference, but once they're actually on your head, they don't feel that much different. Now, the button layout is the exact same. You've got your power button and your ambient sound control on the left, and on the right, you have your play and pause as well as your volume rocker. The buttons themselves feel great. They're tactile, they're responsive, they're not overly noisy, and I'm glad they didn't switch things over to touch-sensitive controls. I think most people agree that physical buttons are the way to go. Now, one minor difference you'll notice when it comes to playback control is wearing detection. Like many other headphones, the Space One will automatically pause your music anytime you remove the headphones, but for some reason, they decided to take that feature away with the Space One Pro. Now, as far as overall specs, not too much has changed. You still have Bluetooth 5.3, you've got multi-point connection, you have access to the same codecs, including LDAC. There is a slight difference as far as battery, but the numbers are still very similar. So on paper, the biggest difference is the fast charging. With the original, just 5 minutes can get you roughly 4 hours of use, and with the Pro, 5 minutes will get you roughly 8 hours, which is not only better than the original, that's better than anything you'll see from pretty much any other brand. Now, the overall experience in the Soundcore app is very similar between the two. You can adjust the noise cancellation, the transparency, you can choose between adaptive, or you can set the strength manually. You've got custom EQ controls with over 20 different presets. There's also Hear ID, which takes you through a hearing test and creates a custom EQ for you. So most of the features in the app are the exact same. Now, there is one new feature, which is the Dolby Audio setting. It's supposed to give you a wider and more immersive sound, but if you watched my initial video, like I said, it's not really something I've found myself using that much. So we've talked about some of the differences as far as the design, the materials, the build quality. Another key difference is the triple driver setup of the Space One Pro, which gives them noticeably better sound. There's definitely more presence in terms of the bass. It's stronger, it's deeper. You pair that with the treble, which comes off more balanced. I think voices and vocals sit a little bit better in the mix compared to the original. The original have a brighter sound signature with the treble being more forward, and overall, the Pro just give you more space and depth within your music. So if we're talking strictly sound quality, for me, the Pro are the way to go. Now, as far as noise canceling, the Pro have some upgrades there as well. You've got a total of 6 microphones contributing to the process compared to 4. There's also some updated algorithms which make the noise cancellation more responsive. And in my opinion, it does translate to better performance. I would say the Pro are about 15 to 20% stronger than the original. So not exactly a huge difference, but they definitely have an advantage. As far as the transparency mode, I would say they're pretty equal. I think they both have some room for improvement. You still get the feeling that there's something covering your ears, but as far as how they stack up against each other, they seem to be about the same. They both also have Easy Chat, which will automatically activate the transparency mode anytime you start speaking. So maybe you walk into a coffee shop, you go to the counter to place your order, and as soon as you start talking, the headphones will activate the transparency mode so you can have that conversation. The original Space One also have a feature where you can touch and hold the left ear cup to activate transparency mode, but for some reason, they decided not to include that one on the Space One Pro. Now, as far as microphone performance, the Pro have a total of 4 microphones compared to 3 on the original, and I think they both do a great job, especially at eliminating background noise. The main difference that I've noticed is that the Pro seem to add a little bit more treble to the voice. All right, so first up, we got the Soundcore Space One Pro. As you guys can see, outdoor environment, slight traffic taking place behind me. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so next up, we have the original Space One from Soundcore. Same outdoor microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. So there you have it, the Space One Pro versus the original Space One. You've got better build quality, better sound quality, better noise cancellation. I think the original Space One are a great option, especially if you're looking to stay under that $100 price point. But if you have the extra money, then for me, the Space One Pro are the way to go. So hopefully this video was helpful. Feel free to check out the links in the description if you're interested in either one of these headphones. And aside from that, I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you in the next one.